Alright, so here's what I did. When I walked up to the base of this tree, I found out it was not actually pulled out of the ground. Somebody actually cut it down. Who knows how, I mean, the top of the stump's like black, like it's been like cut like that for 3-4 years. What I did is I wrapped my winch cable around about right there, about 3 or 4 foot up. And then I decided to take my chainsaw, cut in from the backside about 3 inches, made a little wedge, and then come in from underneath, made an undercut on the backside, just to where the wedge side started to close. So the hinge is still holding it in place. I'm hoping that when I pull, that'll break off and the base of the tree will come this way. I don't know if it will or not. I'll put this thing in 4-wheel drive and find out. We're going to back up, put some tension on it. Actually, you know what would really help is if I locked my winch back in place. That would help if you lock the winch back in. There you go. It usually helps if you lock your winch back in. So I'm going to put tension on it and see what it does. And then after I put tension on it, I might start winching it out. We'll see what happens. There we go. Put a little tension on it. Oh, it looks like it's going to move. Here she comes. There we go. That's about exactly what I wanted to do. So, anytime I can be away from a tree that's coming down, that's what I want to do. Makes me feel safer about where I'm at and what I'm doing. Plug my winch in here and I'm just gonna winch myself back up to it. Yeah, that could not have worked any better for me. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Now I'm out in the field and I can cut it up. Do what I need to do with it. It's good. That's a good piece of wood. It hasn't been on the dirt at all. It's up off the ground. You can see exactly what I did with it, where I cut that bottom. I cut until that hinge closed up. It wasn't a very big wedge either. It was, I mean, it was only, not a very big tree, but the wedge that I cut was only, maybe about 3/4 of an inch wide, maybe. So, it wasn't going to do much anyways. And I cut in front of it. I came up on the back side of it in case it actually dropped. That way I didn't drop the tree right on my saw. So I actually cut past the hinge just a little bit. You can see this is where my wedge was, right here. And it was only open probably about that far, 3/4 of an inch maybe. And I undercut the back side, but I cut past it. So that way if the tree had dropped, it wouldn't have dropped right on my saw. I would have missed my saw and fell to the ground. But then when this closed and touched that, I stopped. I didn't cut no more. That was by design. Hang on, I'm gonna set you down here just a minute. I gotta unhook this. Yep, there we go. But that was by design. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Couldn't ask for anything any better. That's, you can see it's not a real big tree, but it's probably 8 inches across. Probably 35 foot or so long. That's a nice tree. That'll make some solid firewood. It's been, like I say, it's been hanging up in this tree for a long time. It's really been bothering me. I wanted to get it out of here, so that worked out real nice. Couldn't have done it any safer. Like I say, I didn't want to be next to it when I wanted to be out here away from it. I don't like dealing with trees that are hung up like that. They're dangerous. I don't care what anybody tells you. Like I say, I could have stepped it back until it was straight up and down. Probably got to come out of the tree. But, if this is a bigger tree, I would have had to do something different. It's not a very big tree. There's no branches left on it. Obviously, I mean, it's a dead ash tree. There's nothing left on it. But that was about as safe as you can do it. Cut the base, pull the bottom up from underneath it. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I was 60 foot from the tree the whole time other when I notched the bottom of it. And I wasn't planning on cutting all the way through. If it had dropped, it would have dropped. I mean, I only cut maybe 6 inches from the bottom. It only would have dropped a couple inches and been sitting right back on the ground. That's about as safe as you can get. Safety, safety, safety. Guys die doing this. Don't think they don't. It really happens. I don't want it to happen to you, and I don't want it to happen to me. I got family, kids. So do you, I'm sure. Be safe when you're out there doing this stuff.